What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the single player Let's Play series. So today I wanted to get started by making a couple of new little random things. So let's get started by making some thaumium. We've made just a little bit before, but I want to make a few more pieces just to make sure that we have enough to make ourselves a pickaxe head with. So, in between episodes, I've gone through and painted all my travel anchors in the painting machine. Just a nifty little thing that you can do. And I wanted to just very quickly make a simple, absolutely temporary little pickaxe here. This is going to allow me to go mine up some of the cobalt and ardite needed. So this will allow us to get a better durability and mining speed overall. And the thaumium pickaxe has the advantage here. If we go to the toolmaker's treatise and go look at the tool heads here, if we go look, thaumium has harvest level 3. We need harvest level 4. So in theory, if we do thaumium with a diamond, that should get us harvest level 4. Currently, we only have harvest level 3, which is obsidian, so this will give us quite the boost, especially in durability, once we get all the way up to some of that other stuff. So this is, again, purely for the sake of going and making ourselves this improved ardite or cobalt or manual pick. I don't really know which one I want to make yet, but we can go ahead and go mine stuff now that we couldn't before, which is going to be particularly nice. Alright, so let's give this a shot. There we go. So that is definitely working, which is absolutely beneficial for us. So I'm just going to kind of run around and harvest up random tinker's ores, some cobalt, some ardite here and there. And then we'll kind of go and take a look and see where we want to go from there. But obviously we're going to want to melt this down or process it somehow. I think you can actually pulverize this now, or even smelt it. I didn't know you could just smelt it. That's kind of odd. But I know that you can pulverize. Can you not pulverize it? You can sag mill it. Okay, I knew it was something. So yeah, just gonna kind of run around and grab some extra tinker's materials here that we can use on a brand new pick. And don't worry about the enchantments. I have a plan for that you probably have already accounted for. Alright guys, so I got back from the nether. I've processed everything into ingots now, and I think it's about time that we get started with our new tools. So I want to kind of get things disenchanted one at a time, and so we're going to come over here to our Actually Editions Atomic Reconstructors and start unenchanting things one at a time. So I'm going to start with our sword first. We'll go ahead and get started just kind of disenchanting everything. So yeah. So I think we're pretty much done here. I'm just kind of working on getting a couple of things separated. So as you can see, I've got like leech and efficiency and sharpness all on the same one because the axe didn't need all of that. So I'm trying to reduce the amount of waste that we're spending on this XP and this, well, basically everything that we've been doing lately. So I'm going to run over here and grab all the solidified experience. And let's see what we can do with our schematics. So I think I should have a pickaxe head somewhere. Yep. Good. Pickaxe, sword blade, crossguard, hammerhead, axe head, and shovel head. And we're also going to want a couple of other little materials here and there. So when we made our original set, I don't think it was implemented yet that you could use treated wood, but you can now. So I'm going to use treated wood for a lot of this stuff. So let's go ahead and get some of that. And I want to use, of course, the leather handles where I can. And I know already that there's a few of these that will not use it, or one of these that will not use it. And, oh, there's one last thing. So you can use amber now to get additional durability. So now we should be good. So I want to make a pickaxe with this for the head. And so we can do these for a pickaxe with a decent durability and a decent bunch of stuff, and then if we add this is already going to bump us up from 1160 to 5510. That's a really nice pick. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see. For the hammerhead, we definitely want the speed here, so we're going to definitely do cobalt. And I'm thinking we're going to do the exact same combination of things here. I don't see why not. So another 5510, looking good. I'm just going to drop off these old materials that we no longer are needing, these old weapons and stuff that we have. I'm going to drop them off here, that way we have them in the future if we ever want them again, but like for example if we die, but this will prevent some concerns for sure. So that's going to get us our 1 ingot that we're going to need of manulin, that way we can get ourselves our sword blade. Let's see. Sword blade, there we go. And then for the crossguard, we're probably going to do ardite, because it's got a good amount of durability on it. So we can do these 3 with this, and this is going to actually get us 49.25. Alright, that's reasonable. An attack damage of 7.5 compared to an attack damage over here of the same thing, but with less durability. Plus, this one has a slightly better stat for enchantability and stuff. So next up, we have our shovel head. So we can do cobalt again for that speed. And we'll do leather, leather, and another piece of amber. The amber is really useful. And then lastly, we're going to want to look at our axe somewhere around here. Yep, there it is. We'll do axe, and then again, the same situation with the other ones. Boom. So this got us pretty much everything that I was wanting, and so now we can start re-enchanting these. So we are at the point now where we will probably want this in our offhand, and we can start working on a bunch of our enchantments and stuff. So I have to figure out what went where. That shouldn't take very long. We had looting somewhere for one of these. There we go. So that sharpness, looting, insight, mending looks good. I put knockback on a separate book because I'm not crazy for knockback. So this combination is going to be 16 levels. No biggie. We can just handle that real quick. And so I'm just going to repeat this process for all of the different tools that we have. So I would say that that was a very worthwhile sort of process, because now we have all these tools and weapons that can all have exactly what they need. So these, for example, we finally have an axe with efficiency 3, and we finally have a hammer with efficiency 3. So a lot of stuff here that's going to help us out. The hammer especially will be super cool. But we can go and see how these are going to handle various tasks if we really needed to. But I think we already know more or less how these are going to work out. You know, nothing's really new here. We're not starting any new mechanics. So, of course, lumbering is going to work exactly the way it ever did. Everything else is going to be pretty much the same as it ever was. So, you know, but still very nice to have these little tool and weapon upgrades. So, there's not really any particular reason why I did this. I just wanted to make sure that we were fully prepared. So, yeah. And of course, we can come over here and test out our hammer if we wanted to see how this is going to do at efficiency 3 and with cobalt. It should be, as you can see, a very nice, reasonable upgrade. And we no longer have smelting on it, so that's good, because sometimes that can have some unexpected side effects that we don't maybe want. Yeah, I think now we're at a point where we can get started with what we want to do next. So I want to get into some of the fun that we can get with Thaumcraft. So let's see about how Thaumcraft is going to work out for us at this point. We haven't played with it in a little while, so it's worth getting into again if you ask me. Because I wouldn't mind getting the recharge pedestal so that we can get the Boots of the Traveling, or Boots of the Traveler. Boots of the Traveler. So I'm going to do some research kind of in between here and there and everywhere and see what we can do. because I think that this would be pretty cool. I need just a little bit of stuff, but I don't really know what all you want from me. So I need wheat and carrot and a couple other things. Do I even have a carrot? I do. Yay. Wheat and carrot for a lamp of fertility. Mirror magic I can't do yet. Lamp of growth is just a piece of bone meal and some research that I don't quite have. So it looks like I need to get the recharge pedestal, so I'm going to do some research. I don't really know exactly what in yet, but definitely need to do some. So I guess I'm going to get started on that for the time being, and I'll be back in just a little. I've been working in Thaumcraft, and I've been specifically making a mess of this area, which is pretty far away. Now, I've gotten a lot of the new foci medium handled, and a lot of other research just here and there. But I wanted to show you guys a couple of really neat things. This is a flux rift. I've actually got two of them. So I've got this big one over here. This is one of the larger flux rifts, and this is a smaller one. So these are pretty neat. You can scan them for Vitium if you want to, but also you'll notice that as I hold my thermometer, you'll see that this area is extremely high in flux and low in V, and this area is growing in the flux sort of region. So that's why this guy is here and so small, as you'll see that there's a small level of flux compared to this guy who's pretty large because of the large amount. You'll notice that also does a decent bit of damage when you stand in it. They'll spawn flux phage infestations and such, and so it's pretty intense. I also just got a V crystal, probably from a wisp that has started spawning. So the reason I came over here was to show you this, and so that I could get hurt a little. Kind of hard to get hurt nowadays. So that I could show off one of the new foci I made, which was for healing. You'll notice that each time I go through, it'll heal about 1.5 hearts. And I've made a couple others. So you'll notice I've got some cobblestone in my inventory. If we come over here to the desert, we can really try it out. It's pretty neat. So if I come over here and select some of the cobblestone. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to work on the offhand. I might actually really need to keep it in the main hand. Maybe it'll work. Yeah, it works. Okay. It just doesn't show it. That's odd, but that's fine. So we can actually switch areas around just using this thing and looking in an area. So if we wanted there's a key to switch between, and, well, I thought that was my key. Maybe it only works in the main hand. Yeah, it only works in the main hand, it seems. So if you switch between these, you can actually toggle width and depth. So, for example, this is probably my ideal shape. Is more than likely. See if we switch to maybe a 3x3 or even a 5x5. So I'm changing this using my modifier key for the foci as well as the control key. And it's controlled both on a Mac and a PC, so that's why I'm having a bit of trouble. So if I do this, for example, now that we've changed this around, this will be a 5x5 at 1 deep. So definitely much easier to switch stuff around now. We'll have this for sort of exchanges and such. So very convenient. And then the last thing, this is my favorite. This is a portable hole. It's not called that anymore. I think it's called Flux Rift. But this is really cool. So let's say there's something in my way and I want to go through it. I can make a temporary pocket in space to kind of walk right through. These are pretty trippy. You can also do a lot of bad things, like get stuck in a hole like that, so be careful. But nonetheless, these are pretty cool. So there's a couple of things that I kind of wanted to address this episode. Aside from just random thaumaturgy stuff. So I wanted to do one real quick infusion in the auramancy tab. So we have this advanced foci and we have the auramancy theory ready. I've already been kind of planning this out, but I need to make a blank advanced focus, and this is going to require some crafting that we don't really get a lot of opportunities to do, so that's why I thought this would be cool to do on camera. So let me go get everything ready for that, and I will come back to you when we have it all done. Alright, so I think we're ready to go here. So we need to put a blank lesser focus down. We needed a diamond, an ender pearl, and 2 quicksilver. And actually, let's keep this as balanced as possible. Put these on these sides. And we needed, let's see here, fence focus 50 ordo and 35 precantatio. So we have about 59 and about almost 70. Cool. So we should be good to go here. If we launch this, it should start feeding in all of our precantatio. And don't worry about the cobblestone. I'm going to replace that with something later. I just haven't yet. Uh-oh. So we did have some instability there, hence why this happened. You know, could be worse. So it's definitely interesting that all of this happened. I didn't expect that to happen at all, honestly. It said it was minor, I thought. Yeah, minor. So it's not even remotely a big deal, so I don't know why it caused so much problem. Who knows? Oh wow, so this guy takes quite a bit. Goodness. Yeah, so that takes quite a bit of stuff here for the blank greater focus. Okay, so looking into it, it looks like these just allow for more magical capabilities in the same kind of space, more or less. So let's take a look and see some of the stuff we might be able to do with a blank advanced focus. So it looks like the difference starts off with the complexity, so we can have a complexity of 25 now versus just 15. Looks like we can also have a higher V cost now. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be completely honest, but yeah. So this means that we can do a couple of things. Something like Rift, for example, we could do... actually, we would technically want to do touch first, and then maybe not break. Breaks down most materials. How about Rift? So if we did Rift, we could probably increase the duration and the depth at the same time. So we have max depth and max duration now that we couldn't have before. So that's interesting, I suppose. Or if we did break, we could do higher break strength and also fortune, where you probably couldn't have before. And you can see here, if I wanted like fortune 4 and something else, you can see where that's definitely a problem. Nonetheless, I do think fortune 4 with a breaking strength of maybe 2, Preditio and Aversio, we can afford that. I think this would be a really cool spell to put together on a, not spell really, but a nice focus to have. So we'll call this one Mine. Or actually, we can call this Fortuitous. And this is going to require 1 XP level. It'll have a high V cost, and that's fine, I guess. I don't plan on using this a lot. This will be really good for just a small handful of things. Now, this high V cost, of course, is just for crafting it, but that's okay. Boom. Done. So that gets us Fortuitous, which we can now go ahead and use. So I'm going to go find something to use this on and see exactly how this is going to go, because now we can go through and break stuff with Fortune, which is pretty neat. So I'm going to go see kind of some of the stuff we can break that might apply Fortune to it, and we'll kind of see how this goes. Alright, so it has been literal weeks, and a lot of mod changes have happened. A lot of hardware changes on my end have happened. A lot of stuff has changed. So the first thing that I've noticed changing is with the Cloud Stepper's ring, you can still double jump, but the landing now does the damage effect, which I don't like. It doesn't actually cause you any damage. Like, notice if I wasn't wearing any armor and I took this damage from that fall, it doesn't cause the damage, but it doesn't make it not happen, if that makes any sense. So I've been doing a crap ton of research, and you can see I've got a good bit of stuff down here. We have a few modifiers that we can do now. In fact, let's do this one, because I've been looking at a few. So we have a few more modifiers that we can use for our, and a few more things that we can use for our foci. There's some stuff over here that I still have yet to do that I probably should have already done, like the V amulet and the workbench charger, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. I'm just being lazy at this point. A lot done in Artifice. In fact, we've only got, I think, these 3 left, which I can totally do. Again, just kind of being lazy. We need to examine something that can launch objects. I would imagine there's a few things that do that. But yeah, so all of this work basically to say that before I wrap up the episode, because we actually have a lot of stuff available to us, and there seems like there's a new page now. Okay, cool. I just got done with some of these seals. So just kind of looking through here. But before I actually wrap up this episode, because we don't have quite enough content done for this episode, and I have some stuff planned for the next one, but I can't really jump to it in the time that I have left here. So I was thinking about things that we can do in Thaumcraft that we haven't really done yet. And while I've done a lot of research and there's still a lot left for me to do, and I'm just slacking, like I need to do this. So why don't we do this? I wanted to do this one on camera because, as you can see, this is locking us out of a lot of stuff in the alchemy section. We need to get the Essentia tubes before we can do the potion sprayer, any of the improved distillation, any of the anything. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we're missing out on by not doing this. And I have the research and the observations ready. I just need these files of Essentia, and I have just been too lazy. Vitium was the taint one. That one's going to be tough. Alienus comes from, like, ender pearls and alien things. Vinculum does not come from soul sand, or at least it didn't last time I checked. Okay, so interestingly enough, and I had to go search this, that's how sad this is, Vitium comes from a lot of things here and there that are specific to flux and taint, but I have neither of those really, so mycelium is the best choice. So how can I make mycelium? Okay, rich phytogrow, rich slag. Okay, so I am going to go get some cobalt and ardite and just smelt that up in the induction smelter, I guess. And that's how I'm going to do it. Not a great plan, but it's a plan. So see you when that's done. Alright, so that gets us everything that we need. At least I think it does. So, you know, for some reason, the cobalt pick, ironically, cannot mine cobalt or ardite. I don't know if that's a design oversight or a me oversight or what, but fortunately, I was able to swap them out with the caster's gauntlet, and that was kind of a cheaty way of doing the exact same thing. So, excuse me, no, that's not what I thought it was at all. My bad. This guy. We want this guy and these two, and this is going to take a little while. So, once again, going to let this process. Alright, so I'm going to leave the rest of this to just process on its own, because I was doing the math, and there's no way, with this crafting 4 at a time, there's no way we're not going to have enough there. So each for that 16 slag we have, we'll get 64 of the rich phytogrow, which is more than enough, I think, to make... I mean, that should make, in theory, 64 mycelium if I had the patience for that. But I was looking through the recipe once again and noticed the... high quantities of mushrooms, both types rather, that are required. So I feel like this is kind of a catch-22 that we're kind of stuck here. Not terribly badly, but just an inconvenience for sure. We also need one of two things. Either, let's see, pulverized charcoal, and we need either pulverized charcoal or we can just do sawdust. I feel like sawdust would be the easiest way, just because I don't feel like dealing with that. So we're going to need sawdust, which means we'll need about 16. Each one of these gets pulverized into 2, right? Yep. And then we also needed, I just have short-term memory loss today, niter. 16 niter, which I have 49 of. Hooray! I was beginning to think that we were going to have to actually go and make charcoal, which is a process if you don't remember off the top of your head. It definitely takes some effort to do in this pack. You have to do the whole coal coke thing, but nope, we can just use... oh, I grabbed half as much as I needed to. I forget that we need 2 times the sawdust. That's okay, though. Nothing we can't handle. Because remember, this actually requires 2 of each to make this. So we can use the rich phyto grow for a lot of things, but we're going to need to get some mushrooms. And the best place I can think of to get all that many mushrooms is from the giant mushrooms in the biome over by where we spawned a heckin' long time ago. So I'm going to run all the way that way. In fact, I have to refer to my map to see kind of whereabouts it is, because I want to say that it was over... let's see if we're facing this way. I think it's over here, but I'm not actually sure. So honestly, if I'm just gonna get at least 32, maybe 40 of each of these, and then I'm just gonna go. Like, I don't need to get a whole stack of mycelium. I only need 10 vicium, so I really just need 10 mycelium. But better safe than sorry. I don't ever want to have to run out of mycelium or vicium again. Oops, this is a problem. I forget that on my Mac, left-click and control at the same time equals a problem. It equals right-clicking. That's at a system level almost. Not quite a system level, but it's not disableable, I'll put it that way. So I forget that, and yeah, joy. That's what happened. So we'll see if we can get 8 more brown mushrooms. We probably can. They're the most annoyingly common ones. The fact that I got 48 red ones is just fascinating. I never do. Never luck out like that. See? Left click. Ba-ba-ba. Alright, there we go. So that gets us what we need. I'm gonna head back. So now that I'm back, I wanted to test and see if this is going to work, and because I've done a couple of this recipe with just buckets, but I just realized that we might be able to save a lot of time by just using a portable tank, because this recipe was added by thermal expansion anyways, so in theory this could work. Fortunately I didn't go all the way without dealing with that. Oh, cool, that does work. Sweet. So we only have like 8 to go, so not bad at all. I'm just going to do those real quick. Let's see, put that down. That's not where I wanted you, but okay. And we can just scoop all these up, and scoop this guy up, and we should now have more than enough mycelium, which means more than enough vicium, which is amazing. I also have Deadly Gaze, which is just a temporary warp effect that causes things that I look at to get harmed. So that's fun. Don't do warp, kids. So now we can run up here and end the episode. It is long overdue. We've kind of been working on stuff quite a bit now. And I apologize that I had to take a break from the series to and I did the modding series on the side. I'm still going to be doing that. I'm going to try to rotate both. I've still got the spare time, and I've got the spare storage. Honestly, the biggest factor of my life right now is that I have a dog now, and it's possibly temporary. I'm thinking it's more temporary than I wanted it to be originally because it's not really working out. She just doesn't seem as happy as I thought she would. So, yeah. But aside from her, and she's doing really good right now as I record, so I've just been kind of worried about her more than anything else. So, okay, we can now... Oh, man, am I going to run out of tiny coal? Oh, each one of these has 5. Oops. Oh, well. I'm going to go get more coal for tiny coal. We have a little bit, and we have some bituminous coal that we can burn through as well, because we're going to burn through a lot of stuff, I presume. So let's go ahead and toss the bituminous coal in real quick. We can go ahead and burn up... Oh, that got us exactly 10. Look at that. Perfect. And we can go ahead and burn up, I don't know, maybe a couple of my ceiling. We'll do a dozen for now. I'm assuming I'm going to lose some aspects. You almost always do. But the one that matters the most to me is the one that I'm least likely to get. Vicium. And I don't really remember, it's been so long, I don't remember if this happening... I don't really remember if this happening is a cause of the flux coming out and this being wasted, or if it's just what happens. Like, I'm not really sure. So I'm going to keep this around so that I can continue to drain this as we get more in. Definitely not really seeing a lot of that Vicium coming through, so might have been a good thing that I made a bunch extra. Okay, there it is, finally. All I need is 10, but I only got 6. So I guess we should try it again with a few more. We'll try like 8. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and distill all of these, and I'll come back whenever we have everything we need, because at this point, no need to waste time. Alright, I think we're ready. We're ready. Hooray! Look at all this stuff that we just unlocked. And all this stuff that we can now access. All this stuff that I've just kind of been sitting on my hands waiting to get some progress done. So I don't think we have anything else that I really urgently want to get done this episode, so I think I'm going to leave it off there. I hope you guys enjoyed this relatively, long-winded on my end episode. I know, again, to you guys it just seemed like normal, but to me it was... This episode has been almost a month in the making, almost. Mostly because of my own vacation, hardware changes, procrastination, etc. But still, quite long-winded on my end. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. I already have plans, and I'm already excited to get started, so let's do them. Later.